Geoff, early goal, and then pretty much on the back foot, but fairly contained.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they're a good side. We knew from the results what to expect, but to be fair, we didn't expect them to be that good in possession. They were really good, and I felt first half, in terms of our shape, what we trained in the week, in terms of maintaining our shape, we didn't do it well enough, and I feel they were exploiting that, especially midfield. I don't think our shape was good enough, and obviously the number 7 who's he's got players. Speaking to him at the end, he's played higher. You could tell he was influencing the game too much. So if we're honest, we were a bit lucky to go in ahead at half time, but we regrouped. Sometimes you deserve that that bit of luck that we got, and we dug deep, and we still see the first 15 minutes of the second half. Let's squeeze a bit higher, keep our shape, maintain it, and again let's wait for the transitions, and then we can get in. And we had a few chances. Taff had one, Arthur had one, but overall it was a great sort of performance. And I said, come the end of the season, these are the sort of the performances you look back of and say, that's what tipped us over, that's what won us the league, So it's a big performance today, because they're one of the better teams, and I expect them to go and sort of another run now. They'll be hard to beat, and they'll beat a lot of the other teams as they have done. So it's a good result for us, and and again it just maintains the run.
Okay, goal came from Arthur running down the left, crossing in.
With his weaker foot, which was good, and Greg again. So I know Bernard would be happy.
Other Bernard.
Yes, he requested, Greg's return. But that's the quality we've got, and lucky at our disposal, because that was Greg's first game back. He hasn't really been training, but we know the quality he possesses, and those moments again win you games. That's what the difference today, in that sort of composure at the end. And it's good to see Arthur obviously coming back to form. Since then the new year, that's the second game. He's got another assist, so it's good. And like I said, it's competition. MK came in today, did well. Osoli was at the side today, so we want competition going forward for the last few games. And like I said, we've got a few sort of tricky away games, but if we can see ourselves through that, really then it becomes a case of obviously ticking the games off, as we head towards sort of the title. But as I said, nothing's won yet. We're 5 points clear, but look, teams of bigger leagues have lost it before, so we can't be complacent. We need to also maintain, our form. Take each game as it comes. A bit of a cliche, but making sure we do that, making sure our focus is there, and we'll go again next week. Okay,
we relied a little bit on Jack in the first half an hour,
yes,
but then not too much after that. He made a couple of really great saves. One from the free kick, one low down to his left.
And I think sometimes obviously we take that for granted, Jack's sort of consistency, and his handling as well, because in this sort of conditions it's easy to drop things, there's a tap in. So, obviously another shout out to Jack, that we love him, and, we appreciate him, but that's why he's a captain. And like you say, as I said, we was lucky to go in at half time, but then we took that as a platform for the second half. And as I said, we could have got a second or a third just to make it a bit more comfortable, but it was good. As I said, it was a good team performance, morale was good, and they can't wait for next week.
Second half, Charlie, you came on. It felt at that point like we were actually managing the game. They still had quite a lot of possession, but we weren't really being threatened.
Yeah, I think it fell quite deeply into the format of the game after we scored that first goal in the first half, and I think where they kind of controlled possession quite a lot, we were kind of two backs of four, as it were, and looking to hit them on the break, which is where our goal came from. I think at that point, obviously it didn't feel hugely like we were going to concede, but at the same time there's one goal in it, and they have a lot of the ball, and we've made quite a lot of changes, and conditions are quite tricky, so you still got to take control of things, make your tackles, win your duels, that kind of stuff, and just play kind of percentage football to a certain extent, because we didn't play much out from the back today. We didn't have too much possession, so really you're just kind of trying to hit the channels if you need to, make sure their defenders don't have an easy run out on the ball, that kind of stuff, and then just a bit of graft. They had, as Geoff mentioned, their number 7, really good player, centre midfielder, always looking to pick up the ball in deep areas, so containing people like that is essentially the name of the game at that point. So where I think we were not overly threatened by them in terms of chances, I think still at that point it's a bit of a knife edge, and on another day obviously we'd rather be 2-3-0 up at that point, but we just got to do the graft. Everyone came on, did pretty well, I think. got us through it at the end.
Okay. Then number 7, you talked about him a bit. I mean, obviously a very quality player. Liked the ball out to the number 10 in the first half. Don't know whether it's because we were down the other end of the pitch, but didn't see that quite as much in the second half. Is that something you were taking into account?
Yeah, I feel on the transitions when we lost the ball, obviously if we're trying to play counter-attack football, you got to take that risk. But then obviously once you lose the ball, you have to get back in. And I felt we were too slow in doing that first half in our organisation, and there was too many gaps. And obviously, as I said, when you play good opposition, they're going to exploit those gaps. So they were getting through too much for our liking, and you know their fullback very quick, very good on the outside. So they got very good individual players as well that were good on the ball. You know, tricky in 1v1 sort of situations. So we had to manage that as well. And I think what you do in those sort of scenarios, you just have the backup of the cover. So you just got to anticipate, you know, whoever's going out there, if they get beat, are you there on the cover, you know, to back him up, or make it a 2v1 overload and force him back. And I thought we did that much better in the second half. And we had to make changes obviously at the right time just to keep the momentum up, because you know once you're doing up and down for people like Fred and Arthur, it's tough, regardless of your natural fitness. Up and down is very tough. So we had to make sure our changes were done at the right time. And like I said, we've got Charlie experience coming in, Jamal, MK coming in, Taff, who was changed the game for us a little bit. You know, physical presence, nearly got an assist for Arthur, and you know, just played into our hands perfectly, as Charlie said. So so we were happy. You know, second half, like you said, the later the game gone on, the fewer the threat they were kind of pushing through to us. So we were just hoping that maybe again get the second goal and it's more comfortable, because you don't know, deflection, a set piece, anything, you know, and it'll be demoralising. But we come through the win, another clean sheet, you know. So as you said, the back four, obviously, and Jack as well, you know, they're loving it at the moment, you know.
Yeah.
And as I said, you know, another cliche is that the best defences win leagues, and we've got the best defence at the moment.
Yeah.
So we just want to maintain that.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.